Assalamu alaikum. 6 p.m. This is Radio Pakistan. The news read by Farzana Khan. First, the headlines. In Afghanistan, at least 15 people were killed in a suicide bomb blast at a funeral in Jalalabad today. Minister for Power says transmission and distribution system is being upgraded to meet consumers' demand. Election Commission has said process of delimitation of constituencies is continuing in accordance with the result of Census 2017. In occupied Kashmir, 4 Indian troops were killed in an attack at a training center of Central Reserve Police Force in Pulwama today. New Year celebrations have started across the globe. Second T20 between New Zealand and the West Indies will be played at Bay Oval tomorrow. And now the news in detail. In Afghanistan, at least 15 people were killed in a suicide bomb attack in the eastern city of Jalalabad today. Spokesman for the provincial governor said the attacker had blown himself up as people gathered for the funeral of a former district governor at a cemetery in the city. There was no immediate claim of responsibility for the attack. Minister for Power Sardar Awais Ahmed Khan Lagari has said that electricity transmission and distribution system is being upgraded to ensure power supply to the consumers. Addressing a public gathering in Dera Ghazi Khan today, he said that overloaded transformers and old wires are being replaced, which will help to provide electricity to the consumers with proper voltage. The minister said that billions of rupees are being spent to provide basic facilities to the people of South Punjab. Minister for Parliamentary Affairs Sheikh Aftab Ahmed has said that China-Pakistan Economic Corridor project, after its completion, will prove as a game-changer for the entire region. Addressing public meetings in Attock, he said all projects under the CPEC will be completed at any cost. The minister said PMLN will emerge as victorious in the next elections due to its performance and completion of record development projects. Election Commission of Pakistan has designed a special result management system for upcoming general elections to improve the accuracy, efficiency and transparency of the result tabulation process. Official sources told our Islamabad correspondent Fariha Hassan that the process of delimitation of constituencies and revision of electoral roll is continuing in accordance with the results of Census 2017. The Election Commission has also prepared data bank of officers and officials to be appointed as presiding officers, assistant presiding officers and polling officers to facilitate their training well before the elections. Similarly, over 130 district voters' education committees have been formed for the awareness of people in respect of importance of vote. These district committees are mandated to motivate the general public, especially rural women, to take part in electoral activities, including the registration of votes. Sources said that independent monitoring wing has been established in the ECP to oversee pre-poll, post-poll activities and point out illegal practices, including huge spending on electoral exercises in the violation of law. Pakistan Tourism Development Corporation is making all-out efforts to promote tourism in the country. Managing Director Chaudhry Abdul Ghafoor, in an interview with APP, said PTDC is going to organize a 3-day international conference on tourism next month in Islamabad that would be attended by delegates from over 100 countries. He said that efforts are being made to facilitate pilgrims coming to Pakistan to visit religious places of Hinduism, Buddhism, and of Sikhs. Sui Northern Gas Pipelines Limited has announced to provide uninterrupted gas supply to consumers round the year, especially in winter. Talking to APP in Lahore, Managing Director Amjad Latif said that supply of gas has been increased due to impact of RLNG, and the company has come in a position to meet the demand of consumers without any interruption. He said that industrial consumers, CNG pumps and thermal power stations are not facing any gas load shedding problems at present. In Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Provincial government is spending over 8 billion rupees to complete online pension system. A spokesman of provincial government told our Peshawar correspondent that so far documents of 127,000 pensioners have been computerized. Reforms in pension system will help in the elimination of ghost pensioners, and digitalization of pensioners' record, biometric verification and bank-based payments will ensure transparency. This is Radio Pakistan giving you the news. In occupied Kashmir, 4 Indian troops were killed and several others injured in an attack on a training center of paramilitary Central Reserve Police Force in Lethpura area of Pulwama district today. A Central Reserve Police Force spokesman told media that a group of attackers entered the 185th Battalion camp of the paramilitary force and opened fire, resulting in killing of 4 troops and injuries to many. The authorities snapped mobile and internal services in Pulwama district and launched a cordon and search operation in the area. The chairman of Jammu and Kashmir Liberation Front, Muhammad Yasin Malik, in an open letter to the Indian Foreign Minister Sushma Swaraj, invited her attention to the human rights violations perpetrated by the Indian forces in occupied territory. Through the letter, the JKLF chief highlighted the miseries faced by the Kashmiri prisoners who were not allowed to meet their families. Meanwhile, the annual report on the human rights situation in occupied Kashmir has shown sharp increase in killings during the year 2017. The report prepared by the Human Rights Division of Mirwais-led Hurriyat Forum said that the year saw an upward trend in hundreds of deaths of innocent people at the hands of Indian forces in the territory. In Syria, shelling and rocket fire in the suburbs of Damascus killed 19 civilians today. The Syrian Civil Defense says pro-government forces shelled the relief-held eastern Ghouta suburb, killing 19 people, including 6 children. According to the United Nations, around 400,000 people are trapped under the government's siege of eastern Ghouta. In Iran, protest demonstrations are continuing for the last 3 days against falling living standards in different cities of the country. Iranian Interior Minister Rahmani Fazli said the Revolutionary Guards warned the protesters today that violence, fear and terror will be confronted with iron hands. The New Year celebrations have started across the globe. Samoa, the tiny Pacific island, was the first country to welcome in 2018, with New Zealand following an hour later. Half a ton of fireworks were set off from Auckland's Sky Tower as the clock struck midnight at 11 a.m. GMT. Meanwhile, Australians are welcoming 2018 with a rainbow thermal fireworks in Sydney. About 1.6 million people are attending the fireworks around the edge of Sydney Harbour. Over 24 hours, cities across the world will gradually sign off 2017 and welcome the new year, starting in the Pacific, heading across Asia, and then Europe, and finally the Americas. In Sydney, a seaplane has crashed into the Hawke's Bay River, killing all 6 people on board. New South Wales police say police divers recovered the bodies of all 6 victims a few hours later. The aircraft belonged to Sydney's Plains, which has been offering passengers the chance to see some of Sydney's most popular sites for 80 years. And now cricket. Pakistan under-19 won the 3-match series 2-0, beating Australia under-19 in the 3rd one-day international by 49 runs at Melbourne today. Batting first, Pakistan scored 309 runs for the loss of 7 wickets in the allotted 50 overs. In reply, Australia scored 260 runs for the loss of 9 wickets in stipulated overs. Second T20 between New Zealand and the West Indies will be played at Bay Oval tomorrow. New Zealand lead the 3-match series by 1-0. And finally, the weather report. Mainly cold and dry weather is expected in most parts of the country during the next 24 hours. However, foggy conditions are likely to prevail over a few plain areas of Punjab and Upper Sindh during morning hours. To end the news, the main points once again. In Afghanistan, at least 15 people were killed in a suicide bomb blast at a funeral in Jalalabad today. Minister for Power says transmission and distribution system is being upgraded to meet consumers' demand. Election Commission has said process of delimitation of constituencies is continuing in accordance with the result of census 2017. In occupied Kashmir, 4 Indian troops were killed in an attack at a training center of Central Reserve Police Force in Pulwama today. New Year celebrations have started across the globe. Second T20 between New Zealand and the West Indies will be played at Bay Oval tomorrow. And that is the end of the news. For more news and analyses, log on to our website, radio.gov.pk, and also watch live video streaming of our bulletins on the link facebook.com/Radio Pakistan News Official.